live stream. Now this one right here is going to be very interesting. Story time. I'm talking about taking the oath. That's right, the oath. Y'all heard it right. It's about time that I come clean. It's about time that I express to you all how I've gotten to the place that I am now in my life. Hello. I see y'all joining. A lot of people been waiting for this video. They've been waiting. But it's about time I tell you what was done in secret. Yeah, I'm about to tell y'all what happened in secret, man. This one's tough because I got to try to find the words that I want to use to really express how I took the oath and what the oath means to me today. This one's tough. Top of the morning. Hello. I see y'all rolling in the chat. The oath that I did take, I could tell y'all that my life doesn't belong to me anymore. No, it doesn't. My life does not belong to me anymore. No, not at all. I can't operate on my own merit. Matter of fact, my life has been sold. And it was bought with a cost. My likeness in all perpetuity. Yeah, I don't know what oath some people may be thinking I'm talking about, but I'm talking about Ecclesiastes 5 and 4. When it tells you when you vow a vow to the Most High. I know the buildup is crazy, right? When you vow a vow to the Most High, that you must take that vow very serious. You know, oaths, when you hear that word nowadays, and there's so much connected to it now, you know. You know why that is? Because people give more power to Satan than the Most High. And every biblical patriarch took an oath with the Most High. And all the things I'm describing as what the Illuminati wants over the people. Everything that I describe is what Satan wants over the people. But nah. See, the oath I took, it came with great responsibility to the point where it's my top priority, this work that I have to do for the Most High, getting his message out. Even if when you're in a marriage, your work comes first. That's your number one priority. Your number one relationship is with the Most High. When you a man of the Most High, once you take that oath, oh, it's on. And when the Most High called you out of this world, it ain't no turning back from that. It ain't no turning back from that. Because if you attempt to turn back, you will be treated as the fool. That's what Ecclesiastes 5:4 says. You will be treated as the fool if you try to revert back to the world, if you try to go back into your squalor and your madness. So for those that's just joining, I took the oath, man. I took the oath. Yep. I sold my soul to the Most High, and it was bought with a price. And it was the blood that was shed on Calvary. And now I got to describe this oath. Now I'm indebted to my nation, to my people, to my community. With this oath, I have to speak the truth, even if it costs me my life. I have sworn an oath to my nation of people to utilize my talents, my gifts, my lessons learned through testimony, and I have pledged allegiance to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And what came with that was a lot of enemies, a lot of hatred, a lot of envy, but I think it was worth it. No, I know it was worth it. Yeah, somebody said an oath is like a vow. Yeah, just turn to Ecclesiastes 5:4. And when you go throughout the scriptures, you'll find out that all the biblical patriarchs took the oath with the Most High, the oath. Now, I want to talk about how I took this oath and what became of it, how I went this direction in life. But first and foremost, when you go to the scriptures, you know, the earliest literature you can find, some of the most earliest literature you can find is Jacob actually taking a vow with the Most High. That the Most High would bless him and that Jacob would do what? Fulfill his purpose in life by dedicating his life to the work, to the point where, ladies and gentlemen, it becomes addictive being on your purpose. And at the same time, even when you beat down and tired, you can't help but to do the work. It becomes your number one priority. And anybody who seems to stand in the way of that, any level of distraction, any level of deferment, you have to remove it out of your life. Once you take the oath, you got to put away everything that you once knew. But I grew up Washington, D.C., very rough city at the time. I would have been considered a troubled inner city youth. Got myself in some trouble as a juvenile, facing major time. I didn't know how real it was until I was looking at the cell walls while facing this time. And there was some writings on the wall of a young man my age. And he wrote something very disturbing. He wrote, I'm 18 years old and I'm never coming home again. At that moment, I realized that it's real. I realized that if I didn't make a concerted effort to change, that I could be in the very same situation. In fact, I was in the same situation, not even realizing that it could be over. So what did I do? I prayed. Most High answered my prayers. At that moment, I vowed to educate myself. I vowed to study to show myself approved. I vowed to seek after the truth. And I did find it. Let's get this person out of here. At that moment when I was given that second chance, when I beat all the charges that was levied against me, when those charges was dismissed, I hit the ground running. I started making certain changes, certain adjustments, educating myself, positioning myself through the spirit of the Most High. And once you take the oath, let me tell y'all something. Once you take the oath, everything changes. Once you make a vow with the Most High to do something, to dedicate your life to Him, once you make that vow, you can't do everything the world does, or you're going to have severe consequences for it. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Andre. Once you take the oath, you can't do what everybody else does, because when you do it, the Most High is going to hold you accountable. And your punishment is going to be more severe. Now, something else happened. You become very highly sensitive to the spiritual realm. How many of y'all can relate? When y'all decided to walk set apart, when you decided that you was going to vow your life to do the right thing, no matter what, you was going to be the best person you can possibly be. And even when you fell short of the glory and reverted back to your old ways, somehow the Most High still kept you and gave you grace that you didn't deserve. But every time y'all would do something, you will go through hell and high water to pay for your mistakes, for your sins, for your shortcomings. Why do you think that was? He wanted to keep you on track. That's why. He never let you, brothers and sisters, veer too far off to the point where that was the end of you. Some of you was knocking on death's door. I know I've been there. Playing with hellfire. Playing with death. Playing with sin. But He kept you. Thank you for the support, Cashapp. I appreciate it. Somebody said, well, at least you figured it out, bro. Absolutely. Now, for those who just joining, yes, you see it right This right now is the story time. You just joined in the stream, yes. A lot of people have been waiting for this video. A lot of people have been speculating on this. They have. A lot of people have accused me of taking the oath. And now I'm confirming. Yeah, I took the oath. The oath. I'm confirming it. Yeah, I mean, it's been difficult to talk about this because it was done in secrecy. And you know what the scriptures say: what's done in secrecy should be blessed outwardly. And you know, the Most High has blessed myself, blessed my platform to amass over 800,000 subscribers. Like a spider web. And that wasn't by just hard work and labor. No, that's a miracle. That's a miracle. But the way I got that is taking an oath. I took an oath. Ecclesiastes 5:4. I took a vow with the Most High. That's what I did. And listen, the Most High has a blessing for everyone. And I'm not saying this to brag on my channel or nothing like that. Shout out to every creator out there. But what I'm saying is it's a miracle that I came from facing the time I was facing in the penitentiary to being here. It had to be a spiritual act that took place, and it was. It just wasn't what people think it is. Since then, since I took the oath, I'm going to tell y'all what happened. I'm going to tell you how I did it. I simply prayed. I talked to the Creator. Just the same way you and I are talking right now, ladies and gentlemen, I talk to him just like this. I talk to the Most High. And I told the Most High all the things that I'm risking my life for in these streets, living on the edge, wilding out. I don't want to do that. I want to be a soldier for you. Use me in the way you would have me to be used. The Most High let me know it's going to take some dedication. And it's not going to be easy, my son. That's what he told me. He said it's not going to be easy. He said it's going to come with a lot of adversity. It's going to take a lot of bravery. And it's not going to be validating. Because the same people I'm going to have you go out to speak to, they're going to be stiff-necked. They're going to be hard-headed. And a lot of people will become your enemy when you tell them the truth. The road is going to be hard. The laborers are few, but the labor is plenteous. But at the end of it, you will pay your debt for your sins. But keep in mind, while you're doing this, charity will cover the multitude of your sins. You know, it took me years to understand what he was saying. It's something that's so simplistic. Charity is going to cover the multitude of my sins. Because look, you know, when you lived in the world, when you sinned, when you had your issues, you were building up a debt, a spiritual debt. And you have to turn that around and make sure that you put out good on this earth. And so things started changing. And they started changing very quickly. I started falling out with certain people. Certain people started turning their backs on me because I wasn't doing the same thing I used to do. I know y'all can relate to that. How many of y'all, by sure ones, the moment where you start on your self-improvement journey, it seems that a lot of people stop coming around. That started happening. And then something else took place where the closer I got to being independent from the street life, the more threats on my life came, as if certain individuals didn't want me to leave. As if they were sitting there waiting, anticipating my downfall, anticipating my death. But something happened where the Most High protected me. Yeah, the demonic task force, they got sent out. And then I started studying where the scripture says a man wouldn't be respected in his own hometown. Even the Messiah had to make moves. Even the Messiah had to go from one place to the next. So I said, you know what? I have to change my environment to get to the place I need to go. And ladies and gentlemen, a lot of you all got to do that. If the city you in ain't showing you no love, leave. If the people who's supposed to be feeding you ain't putting no food on your plate, then feed yourself. If people can't see your value, the people that's in your circle right now, then that means you don't know your value. If they can't see your value, that means you don't know your value. Because a bottle of water is $10 at the airport, $5 at the gas station, and $1 at the corner store. So it's not about the value of the bottle of water, it's about where it's at. So if you know what your value is, you're gonna move to a different location if you value yourself. So I decided that it would be in my best interest to relocate down south and seek after peace. I worked many years, multiple jobs, slow life, country life. I studied for years before I even made a YouTube channel. I studied great teachers, I read books. I didn't know what I was preparing for. I didn't know what the Most High was going to use me for, but I know that I would take my camera from my phone at the time and I would record myself talking. I didn't even know what I was preparing for. And all I would be doing is speaking my thoughts out loud. And I didn't know what that would become. I continue studying, I continue learning. I learned about something called semen retention because at the time I was struggling with whoremongering. I got on the semen retention lifestyle and it started really changing me. I started fasting. I went from one discipline to the next. I was ingratiated in disciplining myself. So I started to fast, and I started to have more of a prayer life. I started semen retention. And I made my first video about that topic. You know, I played around before, made a few videos. They did kind of decent. First video I did on that topic, it had 70,000 views. 70,000 views right off the gate. I said, wow, that's interesting. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I wasn't ready yet. I made multiple videos, got multiple views, wasn't even monetizing them, didn't know nothing about monetization. Multiple videos, multiple views, videos were doing well. I wasn't ready for the spotlight. People was noticing me in public, and I was like, I didn't sign up for this. See, you know, you got a lot of people who's looking for attention. They looking to be seen. They looking to have these big platforms. They looking to, you know, be known in the public. With me, ladies and gentlemen, it was the total opposite. When people would know me up in Family Dollar, hey, that's Nubreed right there. I'd be like, man, I'm about to get off the internet. I was private, living a simple country life. A complete turnaround from my previous life. So I stopped. I stopped making content for a couple years. And I remember this because I took an oath, y'all. Y'all got to remember I took an oath now. I took this oath, so I want y'all to keep this in mind now. I thought I could just stop. I had a good job. I enjoyed the people at my workplace. I was doing halfway decent for myself. Oh man, y'all, I thought I could just stop. Remember, I took an oath now. So I started slipping back into my old ways somewhat within a couple years. You know, just casual dating. Just living like a regular person. Like, you know, not doing nothing too crazy out here. You know, may go out, have a good time. Not doing too much. But every time I would just try to do what the world is doing, just live my life. I work, I pay my taxes, I'm living my life. Leave me alone. I ain't bothering nobody. Every time I would go to an event, some type of social function, a near-death experience would happen. And why is that? One night, clear as day, I heard the Most High tell me, you need to get back talking to the people. Heard it clear as day. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that. I literally said, no, I'm not doing it. Imagine this. Nubreed told the Most High, I'm not doing it. He like, no, it's time for you to go back. You had your life experiences. Time to go back and get on social media. I'm not doing it. I'm good what I'm doing. See, I wasn't seeking no attention, no validation, none of it. I rejected it. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of the Most High's people who got put in these positions to lead didn't even want it. Y'all got to understand, I didn't want the position I had. And I do have a powerful position. Very powerful position. Land initiatives, networking with dignitaries, and, you know, I'm a very powerful man of the Most High at this point in my life. Very, very powerful, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that part. Told the Most High no, so everywhere I went, somebody would Running in my car, boom, T-bone. Oh, damn, near-death experience. Could have took me out the game. Go to the club, I'm chilling, having a good time. Partying with the shorties, having a good old time. Somebody shoot the club up. Boom, 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 shots fired. One whisked by my head. Zoom. I'm like, man, what the hell is going on? I said, okay, this is getting kind of crazy now. So I prayed, talked to the Most High, said, look, he said this clear as day, and I took this serious when he said it. See, people be thinking the Illuminati scary. People be thinking of the Freemasons are scary. Tell y'all something, I don't give no damn about the Freemasons, about the Illuminati, about the so-called powers that be on this world. They don't scare me. Let me tell y'all what the Most High told me, bro. Y'all ready for this? He said, if you don't do what I sent you here to do, I don't have no use for you. Damn. That's what he told me. If you don't do what I sent you to do, what do I need you here for? And I said, ooh. Then I really realized what it means in the scriptures where it says, the fear of the Most High is the beginning of all wisdom. Because then the wisdom really came, and I said, so I'm wondering why I'm having this streak of bad luck. Near-death experiences ain't nothing to play with. So I said, man, I gotta do something. I gotta get back on making content. That's what I did. And this time I peeled that book open. I came there with the scriptures, just ablazing. Fire in my windpipe. I'm talking about line upon line, precept upon precept. End up amassing over 208,000 subscribers. All because I took the oath. A lot of people been wondering how I got here. That's how I got here. It's been a long road. It's been difficult. It has its, twists and turns. It has its roadblocks. But nonetheless, the work is still number one in my life. And the work is being conducted not just online. That's what a lot of people fail to realize. Now we can connect the dots to what the Most High said to me in that cell. He said charity will cover the multitudes of your sins. I didn't really understand what that meant. I read it afterwards, but until I started to really do nation building work a couple years ago, met my brother Yawitazar. He was already doing nation building work. He was already doing food banks, food drives, philanthropy work, nation building. And I happened to meet that brother because I did a video on Little Bow Wow. Did a video on Lil Bow Wow, and him and Brandon T. Jackson at the time, they had a dispute, and Brandon T. Jackson did a comedy special, and I reacted to it. And I ended up being able to interview Brandon. His team reached out. We chopped it up online. It was a great interview. Y'all can catch the interview right here on Nubreed Global Truth. My interview with the actor, Brandon T. Jackson. And Brandon had his team. And you're with Desire. He does his work. He's pretty much freelance marketing. So if y'all need some real marketing work done, holler at the bro. Congregation of the Mighty is his YouTube channel. That's my brother. And I happen to touch bases with him on some other business. And we've been brothers ever since. I've been to Africa, really been through the trenches with this brother. When you go to a third world country and you out there and there's all kind of things happening and you in a Humvee, you riding around in a Humvee on dirt roads, going to government buildings trying to get some changes done for your people. And you living in a country that has a lot of poverty, and you the only ones that's looking different out there. Him, myself, and Elder Shammai. You really build a brotherhood. You really build a bond. You looking out for each other. You learning the landscape. You learning how to survive and navigate out of your comfort zone. And you out there doing real political work, really sitting down with dignitaries. We met the vice president. We sat down with the tribal community. We were offered land grants. The same land that they offered Marcus Garvey was offered to yours truly. And that offer is still on the table, but the people not ready. So it's one of those type of situations, but nonetheless, I've done great things. And it's because I took the oath with the Most High, although there was a lot of things that I experienced that were difficult to deal with. And guess what? A lot of those things were by my own doing. That's because the Most High is just. A lot of my shortcomings and failures and things like that is because of my own doing. So when you take the oath, just know that don't necessarily mean that you're gonna get used in your full potential if you don't keep up your end of the deal. The Most High is gonna judge everything and everybody justly. So I'm not here to, claim that I'm some perfect angel out here. I done made my mistakes. More than I would like to admit, you know what I mean? And I never got on this platform claiming to be some Patreon saint. I'm just here to tell you that the Almighty is real. And he can use you for whatever respective purpose you have in life. Somebody said, like bearing false witness. Who have I bear false witness on? And be careful how you answer that question, because I don't want to have to block you. So you have to be careful with answering that. Because that's one thing I'm not guilty of. I'm not out here bearing false witness. Sirach 34:9, a well-traveled person with wide experience knows many things and talks sense. You can't know much if you haven't experienced. That's true. Yeah, I see still people joining in the chat. Look, for the record, you just joining in. Yeah, Nubreed Global Truth, I have taken the oath. Yep. And what I learned is during the oath that charity covered the multitudes of sins. So once I went on this path of learning what it takes to revive a nation, and I'm talking about Liberia right now. But once I learned what it took, it changed my whole perspective on life, because I watch people who don't really have much far as, the country being, some type of powerful world presence trade and commodity and all of that. But what they did have was theirs. And I witnessed men sit around a round table talk about what they're gonna do in their country. And I understood that that conversation at that table mattered. Imagine sitting amongst people that talking about changes they're gonna make in the country, and you know that the things they're talking about really matter because they have the power to make those changes. Although they don't have much, that was a game changer. That changed me. Once I seen that, I think I thought about us here in America, especially those of the diaspora. And I thought about it. I said, man, we don't have the power to change nothing in this country. Although we have things, we got our flat screen TVs, we got our vehicles, we got, things that we got civil liberties and luxuries that most of the world is not afforded. But we don't have no power, and we should. We should have some say so. If we God's people, like the scriptures say, and we are, we should be the head, not the tail, the lender and not the borrower, above and not beneath. So a fire started growing in me. And I said, what is it going to take for our people to have some power, at least over our own? I said, what is it going to take for our people to own something? And it put me on this course that is somewhat untreaded territory in our generation. It's untreaded territory in our generation. I want y'all to think back. Within the last 20 years and y'all's lifetime, I don't know what year y'all was born, y'all can put it in the chat, but in y'all's lifetime, what revolutionary have we had? Think about this, really think about this. That has really made a difference when it comes to the condition of our people. Name one, just one. Just think about this. Really consider what I'm talking about right now. Can you do it? I see y'all years y'all born. What revolutionary have we had since the time y'all been here? Now, we can go back in the day to Malcolm X. We can go back in the day to Martin Luther King. But I'm talking about in our, who can we say, man, that was a revolutionary that made a difference? Yeah, back in the day, we had our Muhammad Ali's. We had people. Somebody said they killed Tupac. Tupac was an entertainer. I'm talking about somebody who's not an entertainer, like somebody who's not like an artist. We talking about somebody who's an actual true activist, true blue activist. Exactly. Fred Hampton is before a lot of our times. Fred Hampton would be considered one. But the point I'm making, the reason I bring that up is because in America, we are programmed. They give us, what I mean to say is they give us our leaders. They give us our leaders. You're living in a country where they grandize and promote harlots and give them positions of power. So just consider these things. But anyway, I say all that to say Once you take the oath, there's no telling how the Most High is going to use you, but you got to be willing to be used. A lot of people who want a position of power, a lot of people who want notoriety and fame, they don't understand that if you get that by your own merit and you get it by the hands of man, it's going to come with it's going to come with your soul, practically. You practically got to give up your soul nowadays. So if you're going to give your soul up, you need to give it up to the one who created it. You need to give your soul to the one who created it. Because you never know how he's going to use you in your life. And I just hope that my testimony helps some of you brothers and sisters. I hope my testimony really speaks to you. You know, nothing is really done by my own merit. This is not, this is not something that I'm happen to be the super talented orientator and I just get on here and build this great following. No, it took a lot of consecration. It took a lot of self-reflection. It took a lot of repentance. And it took a lot of mistakes too. And for the record, I never asked for this. I never asked for this. And I don't know what that means to you all, but perhaps you'll understand that whatever you're supposed to do in this life is already ordained. As long as you honoring the law, statutes, and commandments, as long as you being set apart, as long as you repenting, as long as you with the Creator, as long as you take that vow and oath and decide that you're going to do the right thing, whatever he will have you to do, he is going to bring you into your purpose. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. Your purpose will run into you. Andre, thank you for the support again. Because you got a lot of people out there chasing their purpose, trying to figure out what it is they're going to do in their life. Look, listen, the duty of man is to love God and keep his laws. If you do that, you don't have to chase your purpose. Your purpose going to chase you. It's going to run right into you. And at that moment when it does, you're going to know it's part of your purpose. And at this point in my life, I know that this is just the beginning of my purpose. This is just the beginning. This is just the social media side. And there's so much greater things that comes with nation building. Because I've never given up the fight. We still moving and shaking. We still doing what it is we need to do to make sure our people are straight. We still networking. We're still navigating. And we're not going to quit. Because why? I took the oath. Sold my soul to the Most High. The seal of the Almighty is now on me. And even if I try to do wicked, try to do evil, I ain't going to be able to stomach it. I ain't going to be able to do it. Even if I try to do wicked, try to do evil, the Most High will stop me in my tracks and take me out the game. Why? Because I already done signed that contract with the Almighty. It ain't nothing I can do at this point but keep his word and keep on, practicing long suffering and striving and making sure that I'm in a place of peace so I can do the work, so I can carry out the purpose. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully this helps you out in your walk or your journey. I just thought I'd come through with this message, Of course, I'm going to be having a lot more content coming. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for tapping in. Y'all going to see me on the road a lot too. So, because I'm making some moves right now. So y'all gonna see me making moves. But I'm going to be chopping it up with y'all every chance I get. So turn the post notification bell on. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know down in the comment section if you gained some edification from this Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all been in this one, I'm going to ask y'all to take to this comment section as well once the stream ends. Once the stream ends, because for the simple fact, YouTube goes off of comments nowadays. There has to be a lot of comments. So I know I'm asking y'all to do a bit much. I try to read all y'all comments here, but it's hard to read all of them on a moving chat. So sometimes, so whatever you want to say it down in the comment section after it ends. All right. Thank y'all. Be blessed. Peace.